I can't play if I don't stretch my hand, especially when I'm playing fingerstyle songs, which takes a lot of strength in both the left hand and the right hand. And then I'll do this one, push the thumb back. The other hand.
Did you have any injuries while growing up?
I didn't have any injuries, however, I did have some repetitive strain injury in my wrist one time when I was about 15, and I was practicing all day, like 6 to 8 hours a day.
No.
And I talked to a doctor. My doctor, I said, my wrist is hurting from playing the guitar, and they sent me to a chiropractor, and they gave me these things to put in my shoes.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Okay.
And she did this test on me. She said, stand on your foot and push up against my arm, and she held her arm there, and I didn't really have much strength, and then I put that there, and I pushed up, and her hand went up. So basically, there was a problem with my feet and my posture. I was flat-footed.
Which caused pain in your wrist?
That just solved my problem in my wrist.
Oh. Wow.
So a lot of problems with RSI. I mean, you got to have good technique. You can't be like tensing, and you have to have a really relaxed way of playing. I mean, I've met at guitar camps and different things. I've met students who have a 4-year degree in music that play like this.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, you're gonna have major problems if you have some kind of contortion like that. So unless you have something going on like that, I think any kind of wrist problems can be addressed with exercise and posture things. So aside from that, I've had no wrist problems or injuries. But I mean, I've played gigs outdoors in the winter, and if I don't warm up, I mean, your hands like cramp up and they just don't work. So for me, the warm-up thing is like, I just always have a better practice session or a better gig if I stretch my hands. So that's the first thing to talk about for me.
Kind of exercise you do?
That's a really good question. I read an article with Aldi Meola one time, and Wim is an expert at this too, because you have such a fast, nimble way of playing. But he said that he's always trying to play with the least amount of pressure.
Yeah.
But enough pressure to sound the note always. So with the left hand, for example, I always do these exercises. And I'd set my watch, I'd set my phone to go for a minute and just do that. Yeah, that's it. And then with the next 2 fingers, and try and just be totally relaxed. There's no tension or anything. And then the hard one is the pinky.
No.
And it's the Same on acoustic guitar or electric guitar.
Hey, it's stronger.
Yeah, you can feel it, right? That's in terms of getting the notes clean and precise. You know, having the left hand be able to play something as delicate and simple as that cleanly is important. And these exercises are not very musical, but they're good things to
Essential.
yeah, to build the strength, and not even that essential. Like if you can play some good songs, that's the most important thing. But in trying to get your technique to be really cleaner and clearer, these are really good things to build the strength. Another one is this one. Starts in the second finger.
How do you do?
So second.
Oh, second?
Yep, and you pick the first note.
Uh-huh.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. And then you switch to the ring and pinky.
Ring on pinky.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so when you're doing that, and the next one is this. This is my favorite. I'll sit there and go for a minute. Slow it down. Speed it up. Change fingers. All without any tension. Yeah, I mean it's kind of like you're building strength. So at some point your hand's going to feel tired. And what you don't want is you don't want it to be really tense. You're trying to train yourself to relax, or when you can feel like you've had a workout, you know, take a break, stretch some more, and then do it again. And it's kind of a constant way of just improving the articulation of your left hand. Because when you're playing fingerstyle, the left hand has to be able to execute some pretty difficult chords and shapes. And having the pinky do what you want is really important. So anyway, that's the left hand. I'm going on to the right hand. When I play fingerstyle, I don't have any fingernails, so I just play with the tips of my fingers, and I use a thumb pick, and you know, to get the kind of motion going, that kind of walking bass thing. Yeah, you know. Do you play songs in that style yet?
Not really.
So like learning, yeah, some standards like windy and warm. And I can give you a list of really good standards in kind of from simplest to more complex. Learning a few of those can really help get the mechanics of that together. Because what that pattern is you're going. Yeah, so just use the thumb. That's it. Yeah, it's that. And that's got to be just so rock solid that your fingers can do something totally different.
How do you choose a thumb pick?
That's a good question. Well, I use a Dunlop medium, and I have some that you guys can try out. But these can be found at any music store. They're real easy to find, and this just fits my thumb. If you have a bigger thumb, maybe a Dunlop large might be good. Is that a large or a medium?
Large.
That's a large, yeah.
And is it
Yeah, I don't try.
rounds or from you?
I don't change the end at all.
Oh, okay.
So I just use it like it is.
Make it round.
Yeah, you make it
Better
round.
for stomach.
Yeah. Yeah, I did that for a while, but I find just you'll try 10 on and 3 or 4 of them will fit really nicely, and then the others, you know, just won't be as nice to fit. They're all different because they're plastic.
Ah.
Yeah, I just use a Dunlop medium thumb pick, and sometimes I do straight picking with the thumb pick. But it's a little awkward. It's better with a straight pick. And you know, with a straight pick, you know, we were speaking about the Gypsy guitarists. These guys have the best right-hand technique. You know, in my opinion, it's hard to go past those guys. The way I learned right-hand picking with a straight pick was just doing a lot of up and down exercises, alternate picking, the chromatic type scale. So you guys could both do that. I don't do much economy picking, but sometimes I do like a sweep, like that kind of thing. To be honest, I haven't really analyzed it, you know, too much. And I do a lot of legato. A lot of legato type things, and there's some kind of sweeping things like that. But yeah, a lot of up and down type motions.
And what can you tell about the right hand for fingerstyle?
Yep.
The exercises?
Yeah. Well, the best exercises are songs.
Yeah.
So playing songs with a metronome is the best thing you can do. A couple of little things I like to do is one is just doing this motion. So just rolling from the thumb. Yeah, and just doing the top 4 strings. Yeah, that's it. That's it, exactly. And the reason is, if you play a song, like if I was to play Bye Bye Blackbird, with just totally straight, if I was to do it, so that's totally straight, but if I was to add some of those things,
Yeah, that's nice.
so I like to do a lot of those little flourishes and rolls. And I don't hear a lot of people speaking about that, but I think that's an important step between learning a song, just the mechanics of it, and then having it have some flow and some movement, and then as soft as possible. You know, this is a really helpful thing for me. So if I'm playing a song like that's pretty loud for me. Every note's clean, and it kind of sounds a little abrasive for my taste. But then you can play it as softly as possible. And still have it be clean. And then in the middle, so some loud, some soft. That's just a way to get dynamics into your, arrangements, which I think is really important. And something that not a lot of people will kind of break down, but all the master players do that. They have real nice dynamics within their phrases and things. So, yeah, those were a couple of little technical things for the fingerstyle technique.
Yeah.
Another thing that's always it's always worth working on is timing, and it's something I'm always battling with. I was practicing just before the workshop up there with my metronome, trying to get just as comfortable as I can playing a new arrangement slowly, which is very tough.
Thanks very much. See you in a moment.
And I told this story at the last workshop I did in Holland a week ago, in Datensvaart, and I never forget this night. I played with Tommy Emmanuel. It was a concert in Germany, I think in Dortmund or somewhere in Germany, and he played a show to about 2,000 people, and the crowd was absolutely going crazy. He played for like 2 hours on stage, you know, so much energy and so many great songs he played. Then the show ended, he went back to the hotel, I stayed at the venue and packed up my gear and went back about an hour later, and I'm coming up the elevator with my guitar on my back, and the elevator door opened, and I heard, and I walked past the door, and it was Tommy's room, and I heard him playing, and he was practicing with a metronome at like, you know, midnight, after he just played an amazing show.
Not to stop.
to 2,000 people, and he was in there practicing with a metronome. So it just goes to show you that even someone, you know, who's the absolute master is continually working on the rhythm muscle. So yeah, that's a real important thing for me. And like, if I'm playing a song, like I have the version of Misty that goes. And such, like when I'm practicing that, I'll slow it down to. Even slower. Yeah, there's some good stretching in there. But, you know, being able to slow a piece down and play it, you know, relatively fluidly at a slower tempo is really important. Especially when you're learning a new piece and you're training your hands to play things it hasn't played before. You got to kind of really slow it down until you can play it, you know, cleanly and smoothly. And then speed it up and try and get the rhythm to flow and to groove, right? And it's one of the challenges of performing is getting up on stage and being able to control the tempo, because I have the tendency to speed everything up on stage and play too fast. And everyone has a different you know, set of challenges. But I usually tap my foot, and you know, I've performed a lot. And so eventually I've just learned how to, you know, hopefully stay in the groove. Another performance thing that I really like to do is practice in front of a mirror, because as guitarists we get so used to staring at our fingers, we can forget to look up at the audience. And you don't even have to necessarily look at the audience, but it's good to be able to look somewhere other than the fingerboard and not make a mistake. So I like to practice in front of a mirror, because you get used to the physical sensation of looking forward rather than just looking down all the time. And also you can see if you have any really bad habits, like if one finger's, you know, your shoulder's popping out, or your wrist is just contorted, or there's something going on with your posture, you can see it. So practicing in front of a mirror is, you know, a cool
your
little
face.
trick.
Look at your face.
Yeah, look at your face.
Keep smiling while you're playing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you know, it's good. Visualization is an important part of performing. You know, being able to visualize yourself on stage, delivering a song. You know, and being in front of a mirror and seeing yourself can just help with that. So I think it's a great thing to do. And you know, I've always been a routine type person, and I love having a practicing routine where I'll spend, you know, 15 minutes doing my little left hand exercises, then I'll do 15 minutes of playing fingerstyle. Then maybe 15 minutes of working on a new song. Maybe 15 minutes of playing like the harmonic minor scale. 15 minutes of, you know, writing a new song, and just breaking my schedule into those little blocks, I think really helps. And if you're learning some new songs, you know, just taking them like a bite-sized chunk at a time is a good thing to do. I have a guitar stand that my guitar just hangs in, and I always put it in the doorway. And when I walk in the door, I'll pick up the guitar and play whatever crazy lick I'm trying to learn. I just play it like 5 or 6 times, put it down, and then, you know, continue. And just, I don't think you need to sit down for 2 hours and just work on the same thing for that long. I think you'll just have more efficient practice doing little chunks of different things. That's what works for me. And I've met some great guitarists who don't ever practice. Guys who just play a lot and just live and breathe music, and that works for, you know, some people apparently. But I like to practice, and I really enjoy it. So yeah, and I think technique's a really important part of it too. Having good, you know, left hand strength, good timing, being able to get a good tone is really important. And one of the best ways to work on your tone and your timing and everything is to record yourself. You know, everyone has access to recording gear these days. You know, you can get a little Zoom recorder, which sounds incredible. Even your iPhone or Android phone, you know, has a great recording app. And playing an arrangement and playing it back to yourself can really reveal the weak spots in you know, your playing. I mean, it's a shocking thing to hear yourself back and realize what you really sound like for the first time. So having recording experience is a great thing. Those are some of the things I do to just practice and work on my dexterity and technique.
So you repeat that then. So you say 15 minutes this and 15 minutes that, and then after that you
change it.
You change it, and
Maybe the next day I'll do the same thing. And if I feel like I want to work on one thing more than the other, I'll just change that. And I have a chart, and I'll print it out, and I'll kind of just go through and work on some different things. And it's really fun for me.
How long do you practice?
Well, these days, if I can find time to practice for 2 hours, that's just great. It's hard for me to find, you know, 6 hours or 8 hours to practice. But when I was, you know, developing my chops, that's what I would do.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can get a lot of practice done in 30 minutes or an hour. So I don't think it needs to be this long, stretched out thing. But you know, I have you know, young students come to my gigs sometimes or workshops, and they're like, I practiced 6 hours today, Joe. I'm like, that's really cool. Go for it. But yeah, if I can find a couple hours to practice. But this tour, I'm doing 17 concerts in 17 days. So every day is just a lot of travel, and finding time to eat and tune up and get sound checked. And there's not a lot of time to practice, but playing a show is the best kind of practice because you learn pretty quickly on
All right.